is science. That's how it can be crucified in two different places. Here, Jesus and Porphyry, the 3rd century scholar, brought this out. He said, why does Jesus say something different at the end of every gospel before he dies? At the moment where Jesus dies on the cross, in one gospel he says, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. Eli, Eli is the Son. Why have you forsaken me? That's here, winter. Well, here he says it is finished at this crucifixion. Eli is the Son. Why have you forsaken me? That's here, winter. Well, here he says it is finished at this crucifixion. Crossifixion. It's a crossover. It's a Passover. All the crucifixions is where the Son gets crucified on this cross. Cross, 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 cross. Here, the Son says, it is finished, because it's the end of the wine season. Jesus turns, the Son turns water, the beautiful water of this season, into wine. This is the bread season, when you go and get the harvest. This is the wine season in the Northern Hemisphere, in September. And the wine gets pressed in the scales of Libra. The Jews call this Judgment Day, the Festival of Tabernacles, Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah. Any Jews? Rosh? Yes. Okay, it's all here. The Passover is here. The 3 Jewish festivals, they're all here. They're here. The Passover. These are the 3... the sojourns, the one that they had to the pilgrimage festivals. Here, equinox, and here, the Pentecost. And if you want to read the first horoscope in the Bible, go to Genesis 49, when Jacob blessed his 12 sons, and you will see exactly who the 12 sons of Israel are. When he talks to Reuben, he says, Reuben is compared to running water. You'll see it. It's there in the Bible. Ephraim, Taurus. Benjamin, Sagittarius. Because Jacob compares him to a hunter. That's the hunting season. It's all there. Isaiah 60:1-3. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee, and the Gentiles shall come to the light, and the kings to the brightness of thy rising. When the sun comes down to die, on St. Thomas's Day, the 21st of December, the shortest day of the year, Capricorn begins, Saturn takes over, and Saturn kills the sun, symbolically. Saturn is Satan. Cold. Inverno. Inferno, remember? And the Romans used to have a festival here from the 17th of December to the 25th Christmas Day, and they called it the Saturnalia, because they were weeping for the sun. And this is where they would weep for the sun, because it would die. And they'd put candles out on Christmas Eve and the Yule log, so that they would bring back the sun on the 25th of December, because the 25th of December is the moment that the sun begins to move. Because when the sun is on the horizon and it reaches the solstice, it stays there for 3 days. You can see it. It just moves. It doesn't move. It dies. So it dies here and it dies there. Dies 3 days, then takes off again. Dies 3 days, takes off again. Empedocles, the student of Pythagoras, he called this love and strife. It generates everything that you see. Love and strife. Chaos. See that? Hex. What's a hex? If you flat pack a hex, what do you get? This is what you get. 3, 4, 5, 6. Make a hex. 6, 6, 6. 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. We are carbon. Everything is carbon. It's organic. Every single life form. There are other life forms. I believe they've discovered silicon. Is that right? Yes, under the sea. They found a creature that's actually not carbon-based. But every other thing, your carrots, your vegetables, your animals, we, carbon, 666. We've been hexed on the cross of earth. Plato said we were given a body. A body is called sema. The tomb is soma. The tomb is called sema. He said they are the same thing. We come from a womb, we go to a tomb. A tomb is there to represent the womb. We go back to our mother, Mother Earth. But the tombstone represents the ascension, because if we were good little Christians, we were baptized when we came down to this carbon molecular, we have molecular structures, do we not? And we've been hexed. And by the way, have you seen the Voyager photos of Saturn? He's the major hex. He's responsible for 50% of the illnesses of the Earth, together with Mars. Those two, and this is a fact, those two are responsible for 90% of all the illnesses on this Earth. I want to show you just quickly, this is a real picture of Saturn. This is a gas monster. See the hex? This is a Voyager picture. It's a real picture. They've discovered a hex on Saturn. So when we come down here, as Plato said, we have the soma. We've been baptized with death. It's a baptism of death. We are more dead than we are alive because we have molecules. And this is the least vibrating of the place where life can exist. Do your reading and you will find that there was a time that we lived on breath alone. Breatharians. And then we had to drop, and we had to, from air, we had to drop and consume more of these more solid foods, like water and earth and animals even. And there are tribes that are still eating humans. That's how low we've gone. In Dendera, in Egypt, you will find the oldest stone, and it has the 12 tribes of Israel on there, the 12, and they are all these creatures, the man. In fact, you look at the 4 fixed signs, and you have a man, a bull, a lion, and an eagle. Scorpio is also an eagle, and a serpent. That is how the Bible describes God. And I saw the face of the true God, and he was as... In front, he had the face of a man, and on the side, the face of an eagle, and on the other side, the face of a lion, and the other side, the face of a bull. There it is. That was in Egypt, and that's what the Jews, how they described God. It's the fixed signs of the zodiac. This is fixed fire, like I said to you, cardinal fire. It fixates over there, and then it must mutate over here. Look at it scientifically. Look at it with your physics eyes. This is the morning. Of course, it's cardinal fire. And of course that is fixed fire, because it's fixed. And here it's got to be mutable. There's no fire signs in this quadrant. Do that with all the others. Do it with Earth. Here is where Earth begins, because Earth is thawing out. It's winter, and now the sun begins growing his rays, and the Earth begins to thaw out. It's cardinal Earth. Cardinal Earth. Fixed Earth. This corresponds with growing the seeds. Get them in the ground. Fix them in the ground. Because here is where you harvest it. Mutable earth. It all makes sense. It's all natural cycles. And if you look at the body is there too. When we wake up in the morning at 6 o'clock, where do we wake up first? We wake up in the head. We wake up in the head. Aries is in the head. Then we go and eat. Taurus. Taurus is the bottom part of the head. Both the horned animals are in the head, the ram and the bull. We wake up in the head. We go and put breakfast in our mouths. Second thing we do, fixed earth. Fixed earth goes in here. Solid molecules, earth, go in here. And where do they get digested and mutated? Immutable earth, Virgo. Virgo's the belly. Gemini, the arms. We go to work and we start building our houses. Cancer, the chest, has to do with breathing and digestion and the chest functions. We know what this is, that's the heart. It's taken the earth that's in the stomach in Cancer and Virgo, and it's sending the nutrients through the blood. Then the kidneys does its thing between 6 and 8, whatever. And then Scorpio, the generative. When's a man and a woman likely to lie down in bed and spend some close time together? Wouldn't it be around about 8 to 10? You want to get to sleep by 10 so you can have a good 8 hours of sleep. And isn't it interesting how Sagittarius is the thighs, and then Capricorn's the knees, and Aquarius is here, and Pisces is here. There are no vital organs when you're sleeping. 6 o'clock is always here. March the 21st is always here. This is the start. If you look at it physically, and with a physics mind, you will see that, of course, everything starts from photons, from light. Photons, and then particles, and then atoms, and then molecules. It all goes down, and here it is. The light comes up in the morning, then it hits the molecule in Earth, then it goes to particle, and then atom. This can be explained in physics. Let's have a look at some of these beasts. Have you seen this beast? That's a minotaur. Min-tor. It's a combination. There's not scary monsters. It's a combination of Taurus and Gemini. Dagon and the mermaid. A combination of the man and the fish. Dagon. A Yale. That's a combination, that's a goat type. A centaur. That's a centaur. A harpy. Scorpio. A cherub, or cherub. Man, eagle, remember the 4 fixed signs. A griffin, lion and an eagle. A satyr, a goat and a man. They'll always be together, or they'll be a fixed sign, or they'll be a cardinal sign. What have we got here? Chimera, lion, snake and a goat. Do you see those animals there? Jesus, he was a fisherman of men, the Lamb of God that takes away the sin of the world. The rock, the twin, is there? Jesus, he was a fisherman of men, the Lamb of God that takes away the sin of the world. The rock, the twin, the beetle, because there's also a beetle here, the scarab. The scarab climbs up, he puts his egg in a ball of dung, and he rolls it up the mountain, and then it rolls back down, and he rolls it back up. That's why they put the scarab there. Jesus is being called a scarab. You look at all the church fathers, all of them, they called him my dear scarab. Jesus. Why? Well, because it's talking about Jesus up here in its glory, in Cancer. June, those glorious months where the sun's light is so beneficent. And we get those photosynthesis happens, and the plants love it. The plants come up. You see the sunflower facing the east in the dawn, and when it sniffs the dawn, it just goes up and it just blesses itself with the rays of the sun. Animals do it too. Animals at sunset in the jungle, they all go quiet for 5 minutes. They respect the sunset because they know who the sun is. But we humans are the ones who are superior because we've written Gospels based on the sun. Gospels are just showing off our poetry about how much we know about the sun. Because the aristocratic families, the Jewish families and the Hebrews and the learned ones, they would love to write and say, well, look at my poem. Aratus did it with his Phenomena. Marcus Manilius did it. They all did it. Because we are the ones that know most about the sun. And we put it in poems. And we give it to nursery rhymes to our children. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. You cannot put that egg together again, man. When it menstruates. It's all over. We have handed them down, not knowing the meaning of them. Here's what some famous people have said about this. Thomas Paine. The Christian religion is a parody on the worship of the sun, in which they put a man whom they called Christ in the place of the sun and pay